I haven't put a lot of thought to it, to be honest. Probably good for you guys to get it out of the way in one hit.
How's the team shaping ahead of the weekend? Obviously, the Scott Selwood loss is a big one.
Yeah, look, we're just like any other team. Every team at the moment's got a bit of adversity, whether it's suspensions or availability. So we can't worry about that. We're just excited to see where we're at this week and against a quality opposition who's playing really good football.
You weren't on Friday night. You weren't overly concerned about Scott's ankle. This was a different thing to what affected him last year. Is there more concern?
Yeah, I was just not telling you at the time. Oh, look, it's been unfortunate. He hurt his ankle round 3 last year, so I haven't seen the best of him since I've been at the club, really. So he carried it for a long period of time last year. We got it fixed over the break, and now something else has resurfaced. So we'll wait and see how he pulls up the next few weeks, but we'd like to think we'll get him back in the next 4 to 5 weeks.
You also said after the game, when asked about Freman's midfielders, there was a few to choose from as far as tags went. I think they had 135 possessions and kicked 8 goals between them.
That's good to know, isn't it?
On the weekend, have you got more to choose from now, and who's likely to be the one that gets the tag?
Oh, there's always that balance that you got to have in the game where you try and shut down every player and you lose your own focus. So we'll go through that match committee this afternoon and work on some strategies to try and nullify some of their mids, but we've got to win the ball ourselves as well.
What have you noticed from Freo this year, or out of the 2 rounds that have made them one of the informed teams this year?
Oh, look, the fact they've done it, they've beaten 2 top 4 sides is obviously impressive, but look, you have to ask Ross about what he's done differently. But their good players are playing well, and their leaders stand up when it counts. So I wouldn't have thought there's any massive change to what they've been doing. It's the quality's there and they're delivering.
I guess Freo have won the last 5, but from West Coast's point of view, you seem to be getting closer and trimming the margin back. Do you feel you're right there and can match them on the day, given that? Yeah.
Oh, look, we'll go in with a positive mindset, with real appetite for competitive hit out. But I'm not really looking at the past 5 games or where the 2 teams sit. As we all know, these games it doesn't matter where you are on the ladder or what form you're in. It brings out some special games. So we'll see how we go on the weekend.
You had a 7-day break off travel. You had 9 no travel. Is that a factor?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Sometimes it's more difficult to handle the extra 2 days. So what's harder work is when you get a shorter break. The turnaround's short, so we've got a typical turnaround. Logic probably dictates they should be a bit fresher than us, but sometimes those 2 days are hard to handle when you're not sure what rain to pull, how hard do you train them or not. So it's no concern for us. But
can you give us an update on Zach Clark?
Yeah, he didn't train yesterday. We're hopeful to train. We're really optimistic that he'll be available. I know it's not anything significant. The scan is all clear, so he just wrenched. Really, he just rolled his ankle a little bit, and then that grumbly knee, that hasn't been really grumbly, just from the past. He just sort of tweaked it a little bit, but he certainly saw it. Did you see at the game? I think we subbed him out, and then just as a precaution because we're in a comfortable position. So he's not a concern.
If he can't play, is it a ruckman you bring in to cover him, or do you go smaller? Or
yeah, no, you think it'd be a ruckman forward type. It'd be a Hanneth or a Griffin. Really be one of those 2.
And Michael Johnson as well. He had a light session yesterday as well. Is he going to be okay?
That's really typical. Yeah, he finished the game strongly. He was one of our best. And early in the week, the conditioners run your club, so they say he can train, he can't train, and we'll put the chaff bag on him and hose him down. Just take it easy on a few. So he had the chaff bag and just was hosed down, Michael, getting him ready for the next session. They would just look after him, just a light gallop for them.
Tendai Mzungu is such a good runner on the open spaces here at Domain. Obviously wants to come into that 22. Is he contesting it all with Crozier for Ballantyne's spot there?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, clearly Crozier and Tendai we took away with us and travelled, and you're correct there. Tendai's the best runner at our club, and he's so versatile. He can play everywhere, and he plays quite tall. So, but Hayden's electric and highly skilled and a great mark, and has played quite well against the Eagles a couple of times. And then we've got a couple of performances outside of that. Connor Blakely Max Duffy have been really impressive down there, and young Brady Gray has been competing quite fiercely. So we'll have a good look at it. I sort of just finishing off the review. We didn't see our players Monday or Tuesday. We typically give our players 2 days off in a row, and our coaches. So we all just got together yesterday. We'll continue on some reviewing today, and then move on. Haven't really got to the Eagles yet. The coaches are getting to them in the background, and we won't talk about the Eagles until tomorrow, and then we'll have our last training session and some meetings to go. So yeah, there's plenty of time to prepare. We're just going through our normal processes.
Tendai withdrawn on Sunday. Was that due to an injury niggle, or is it just matchups for Geelong?
Tendai wasn't named, was it?
Thought he was in the 22.
No, he's in the 25.
25. Just on Connos, you think obviously he's ready-made to go in AFL. Is he up to the standard of a derby straight away?
Well, they're your calls. I didn't say he's ready-made. I said he's been playing quite well, and he's up in for contention. So we'll go to match committee. Derby, I don't seem too different to any other game, bar the rivalry, and there's some prestige of winning against your hometown rival. But at the end of the day, it's 4 points on the line. We prepare. If I'm preparing more for this week than I did last week, well, I'm negligent in the way I go about it. So, and to be truthful, how we would prepare for grand final week is how we prepare for round 1, round 2, round 3. So there's no difference for us, but except, there's increased focus and scrutiny, and they're the games you like to perform every week, or you have to perform every week, and that's the attitude we take. And obviously, we're all chasing the 4 points.
Ross, a few critics and experts have noted that your ball movement's been a bit quicker opening 2 rounds. Has that been a directive from you, I guess, last year or the years before? You've been a bit more precise with your ball movements? Yeah,
sometimes. Everyone makes different judgments. Sometimes the way I see it and other people see it are different. But yeah, it'd be fair to say we are playing quicker. There's no doubt about that. We've had lots of entries the first 2 weeks. I think 58 against Port, 55 puts us in the top 4. Sometimes it's simple maths. More entries, more opportunities. So, it has been a focus, and it's quite evident in our footy, and we aim to continue that. But I suppose what I've picked up in all the commentary, everyone's speaking about our mids and West Coast forwards. They clearly got some talent forwards, but I think what gets lost a little bit is the West Coast midfield. And we understand Selwood's not there, but even from a few years ago, if you look at it, they're all there. It's Pritis, Brownlow medalist, Nick Nat's a star of the comp, and then Wellingham's a premiership player, brought over specific. He's up and going now, and you've got Maston, Gaff's a star into his 4th, 5th year. So, and they're running Hearn and Shepherds through there, and you've got Cripps, who's a first-round draft pick. So I don't see the West Coast Eagles midfield diluted at all, bar Selwood, and so that's where it's going to be won and lost. So I know there's a lot of talk about our guys, and we're a very good midfield, but there's no doubt they've been diluted down back. But we understand it's a significant challenge in the midfield. It's quite mature in there. They might have one young guy, but the rest of them have been around for 5 or 6 years, and we're 4, 5, 6 years, which puts them in the elite category. There was a reason that they were a premiership favourite a few years ago, and I know they've been diluted down the back half, but basically that midfield's there. So for our midfield, we understand we've got a significant challenge.
Ross, without Brian Crowley in your midfield, has that made you more attacking this season rather than that field of game player in the sense?
I don't think more attacking, but it's given us... we tagged first week, we didn't tag in the second week. We didn't tag Steve Johnson, so... We'll be horses for courses. We'll look at that. We haven't made a final decision. Oh, look, Shuey, he's handy, So Shuey, Gaff, Pritis, they're elite players. So we'll have a really good look at that. And we also know if their ability to score heavily if they get outside you is really strong. And obviously Kennedy and Lacroix, those types are quite elite. The dilution's been obviously with Darling and the key defenders, which is challenging. But we know ourselves, even if we go back to 2013, no Sandilands, no Pavlich, no McFarlane, those sort of things. But our midfield was basically intact. If your midfield stays intact, you have every chance to deliver, and that's how I see the Eagles. Their midfield's pretty much intact, so that's what's going to make it a really difficult challenge.
Ross, one criticism of the Eagles midfield in recent years has been their lack of speed. Just from an opposition coach's point of view, has there been any merit to that? Is that?
Well, we're not a quick midfielder. I'm not here to critique West Coast, we prepare for their very best, and their very best is fantastic. So, look, just because the critics right, it doesn't make it right, you know. So, I just worry about what I think, and I got enormous respect for them.
Ross, same question.
Yeah, sorry, can you just repeat?
So Aaron and Nick, very different styles, obviously both very good ruckmen. How much of it is about negating the other player, and how much of it is playing to your strengths?
Well, you're trying to maximise yours and minimise theirs, quite simply. And Simon Eastor's our ruck coach, so he used to be at the Eagles for a while, so he'll have a deep understanding of what Nick likes and doesn't like, and so they'll work together and just try and sort of negate, but still try and bring their strengths to the table. So the best laid plans of mice and men don't always work, so they'll have to adjust on the run. And but look, they're both significant players in their own right, and that battle's going to be a crucial battle.
Is Luke McFarlane the likely one to go to Josh Kennedy?
Yeah, you would think so. But we mix and match. I mean, we had a really tall front half against us last week. I mean, Hawkins and Clark are handy players, and throwing Stanley, so we're comfortable if we put the heat on up the field that we'll handle that, and it's certainly given the opposition some more than they used to, worrying about our bounce out with Ibbotson and Johnson. I mean, they normally play running players, so it's a bit like the Eagles, same principle, So Luke's the likely one, but we'll mix and match depending on ground position and what they're trying to do.
Ross, you've often talked about getting a spread of goal kickers. You're getting that at the moment, aren't you, with your midfield hitting the scoreboard?
Yeah, and probably over the last 12 months, to be truthful. I think we averaged 8. Top 4 teams average about 9. We had 9 on the weekend, and so you need a spread of goal kickers rather than relying on one. And just through circumstance, we don't just rely on our forwards. It's with Ballantyne out, but that's okay. But then there's Pavs, Main is 188, so we rely on a spread, but it's a good way to go about it. So if you move the ball well and you pressure well, you'll get opportunities for everybody, and we did that on the weekend, and particularly our midfielders kicked lots of goals on the weekend. So but the past's irrelevant. The challenge is to bring it to life again, and we're a dog-hungry footy club, so there's no silverware in our cupboard, so we need to win 4 points and lots of them to get a decent starting position in the real season. So that's the way we're approaching it.
Just ask both of you, with the derbies and all surrounds at 2 home games in a row either side, do you look forward to having that balance at home, that stability at home for the 2 weeks twice a year?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a luxury, and we'll take it. But it's not something I focus on. In all honesty, I'd struggle to tell you who we play after Sydney. So we stay in the moment, do what you need to do, but the big picture, if you do take a step back and look, it's great not to have to jump on the bird. There's no doubt about that. But we acknowledge there's challenges coming over to players and there's challenges going away. So anytime you can get 2 in a row at home, it's fantastic. So for us, it'll be a little bit different this week. You normally roll up to Domain and it's full of your supporters, but it's going to be full of the other mob. And but that's a great challenge in itself to remain focused and keep the intensity when it's full opposition. But I think Shell Stadium, or whatever they call it now, has been great preparation. It's a pretty hostile environment. So we'll look forward to the challenge.